we got to get into these power rankings. Let's go ahead and do it. I'm going to put these on the screen. Fellas, allow me to read 1 through 30. You guys can react. However, let me get through the list. All right, here we go, y'all. Let's get to it. These are the November power rankings. At the top, we got the Oklahoma City Thunder. I don't think that's a surprise. Number 2, the Denver Nuggets. Shout out to the Nuggets. They off to a good start to the season as we projected that they would be. Now at number 3, this is a huge surprise, but it's not a surprise because this team has been getting busy this season. Yes, we got the Detroit Pistons at 12-2 and at the top of the Eastern Conference. And then we got the Houston Rockets on a 5-game winning streak coming in at 10-3. Shout out to the Rockets at 4. At number 5, I would think that this would be a surprise for everybody, that the Lakers have started off the season this good at number 5. Got to give a big shout out to the Lakers. They are coming in hot, and their record is 11-4. Moving along, we got the New York Knicks. Should they be this high? Maybe, maybe not, but they are this high. So big shout out to the Knicks at number 6. At number 7, we got the Cleveland Cavaliers. At 8, the San Antonio Spurs. They're without Wemby. They're without Castle, so we'll see where they fall in the next ranking over this next month. But as of right now, to start out the season, they are number 8. Shout out to them. They're definitely higher than what they were projected to be. At number 9, we got the Minnesota Timberwolves. At number 10, there they go, Penn. My bad. I had them tucked away, Penn. I'm sorry. My bad. We got the Toronto Raptors. I'm sure we'll talk about whether they should be higher or lower, but as of right now, they're at 10. That's our top 10 rankings. Now, moving on to 11, we got the Atlanta Hawks. At 12, we got the Golden State Warriors. At 13, the Philadelphia 76ers. At 14, the Miami Heat. At 15, surprisingly, the Phoenix Suns. They're off to a pretty good start. Who would have thought? At 16, the Milwaukee Bucks. At 17, and, well, this is the team we've talked about as one of the most disappointing teams in the NBA, and it's because they're ranked 17th in our early power rankings. Then at 18, we got the Boston Celtics. At 19, the Portland Trail Blazers. At 20, the Chicago Bulls. At 21, the Utah Jazz. They played a lot better than most would have expected. At 22, another disappointing team, and this is in large part due to them being 22nd on this list. At 23, well, what do you know? Another disappointing team, the Dallas Mavericks. At 24, the Charlotte Hornets. 25, the Memphis Grizzlies. 26, the Sacramento Kings. 27, the New Orleans Pelicans. 28, the Brooklyn Nets. 29, damn. Boy, they fall. Hey. Boy, do they fall. The Indiana Pacers at 29. And at 30, you guessed it, you're not surprised, the Washington Wizards.
Garbage.
Fellas,
trash.
Talk to me about this list. What sticks out? What doesn't? What's not surprising? What is crazy?
Phoenix is too low.
We're better than Memphis and Charlotte. All right, but we're better than Charlotte and Memphis.
Detroit and Cleveland.
Yeah. You spelling Detroit and Cleveland wrong is the only thing that sticks out to me.
Well, that's not the only thing that sticks out to me.
I didn't do that. My little cousin made this list.
I thought so. Shout out to
I'm
Ron.
boxing wrong when I see him. I can't wait.
I didn't do this.
I'm boxing him.
I was delegating. Chat, come on. Y'all know I know how to spell Detroit.
Oh my God.
Spell it.
But also,
what's
forget all that. Forget about the Rosetta Stone.
Yeah, forget about that.
Look. We're better than Charlotte, and we're better than Charlotte, and we're better than Memphis. That's all I got to say.
I think Phoenix is too low. 15 is low for them. If I'm being honest, I think they've had a lot of players that have contributed to winning, and I think they should be like top 12. Personally, I also think the Raptors are too low.
Where's Miami?
Miami's too low as well.
14.
Miami's too low.
14, yeah.
Miami's too low as well.
Ridiculous.
I had them at 16 actually.
That's too low.
Yeah.
Chill,
Let me see where I had
you are the
Miami.
accomplice.
I think I had Miami at 12.
Yeah, I had them at 16. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had Miami at 12.
And I had Milwaukee higher than that. That's of course before Giannis went.
I messed up.
I had the Bucks at 16.
I had Miami at 17. That's my bad.
Jesus.
I sent this. I'm complaining about my own,
Yeah.
But I had Phoenix at 10. So that is not my fault. But Miami, I apologize. I should have had Miami like closer to 13th. I think I would be lower in
an avenue
Portland.
for Phoenix being in the top 10. My top 10 is pretty like. I had the Phoenix at 16, so
I had him at
right
15.
in line with where they are.
I had him right at 15.
And also,
I like Phoenix, but 10
help
is
me understand why Indiana's a worse team than Brooklyn. I mean, they got Ben Mathurin back yesterday. We didn't even talk about it, but shout outs to Ben.
I sent my list 2 days ago. I think 2 days ago.
Fairs.
The reason I said because I had Indiana at 29 and Brooklyn at 28.
30. I think they're the worst team in the league.
Because I think Brooklyn at least have something redeemable in the sense that their offense isn't like the worst thing ever. Indiana just suck them like both sides of the ball. Like both teams suck on both sides of the ball. But like Brooklyn are like slightly more redeeming on offense than Indiana's like I want to say probably like bottom 5 in both. I think Brooklyn are like 22nd in offense. So at least they do something to like a regular bad level as opposed to like an all-time bad level like Indiana, who are just stinky, especially on offense. Offense is terrible.
So I'm looking at my power rankings, and I put Dallas at 23 and 26. My bad, Ron. Whoops. So clearly,
I had Dallas at 20.
So
is that
forget?
4?
Who'd you forget, Pin?
I clearly forgot somebody, and I can't tell who right
24 too. Yeah, I had
Dallas at 24. Yeah.
Pin, because you're a numbers guy, and I know how you feel about numbers. How do you feel about the fact that the Indiana Pacers, they're at the bottom of the league in field goal percentage? When I say at the bottom, I don't mean bottom 5. They're at the bottom of the league in field goal percentage. They're at the bottom of the league in 3-point percentage. They're at the bottom of the league in 2-point percentage. They're at the bottom of the league in steals. They're at the bottom of the league in fouls. They're at the bottom of the league in free throw attempts and free throws. And they're at the bottom of the league in defensive rebounding. They're the worst team in basketball. I'm convinced of that.
They shoot 41% from the field.
Garbage, Mars. It's the worst team in basketball. They are awful.
In
terrible.
2025, 2026, they shoot 41%.
Garbage. They're the worst team in basketball.
Okay, some of that's got to be variant. They shoot 30. They shoot 30.
It is variance. It is variance.
Yeah, so variance is definitely hurting
them.
Their
shooters are cold.
Variance is definitely hurting them. But once again, it's a power ranking, so it's only based on what we've seen thus far.
That's it.
That's bad. Yeah, that's bad. Them and Dallas going back and forth for worst offense in the league, I guess. But yeah, Indiana's not good. Washington are like once again another all-time bad team. Yeah.
I don't understand, and you guys know I'm big on Alex Saul. They don't run anything for him. They don't run anything for him. And I watch Washington.
They got to run that pick and rolls with CJ McCollum. That's why.
Unbelievable. They don't run anything from him. And to Mars's point, when we get into the meat and potatoes of the game, activate tanking. Give me a break, yo. Give me a break.
I will say I like Alex Saul. I think he's having a good sophomore season. It's nice to see him as he's physically maturing and he's getting better and scoring inside the arc, shooting less threes. I like that. Trey Johnson, I think, is about what you'd expect. He's a shooter off the bench. Doesn't really get to the rim that much. Doesn't get to the free throw line. So you have concerns about like where his scoring upside is, but he can shoot the hell out of the ball. Keyshawn George, I think, is really, really good. Everything else on the roster is just it means nothing to me.
Like so, Mars, league average shooting percentage like 57% ish.
58.3 last time I checked.
58. Yeah. So here are all the players who are below league average Shooting on the Pacers. Pascal Siakam, Andrew Nembhard, Obi Toppin, Jay Huff, Aaron Nesmith, TJ McConnell, Mac McClung, Jeremiah Robinson Earl, Jarris Walker, Ben Shepherd, Monte Morris, Cody Martin, Taylor Peter. Basically their entire roster with the exception of Quentin Jackson and Benedict Mathurin, Johnny Furphy, James Wiseman, who they waived after one game, Isaiah Jackson, Tony Bradley.
Anyone who's played more than 10 games is only Isaiah Jackson and Tony Bradley. I will give Pascal benefit of the doubt that he has a very large creation burden on him right now. Also, the fact that he can't make free throws is not helping him. I actually think like his just overall scoring has been fine. So Pascal's getting grace from me. Nembhard, yeah, I don't know what people really expected from Nembhard, to be honest.
I expected MIP, yo. I expected MIP because I mean I have seen games where Halliburton has been out and Nembhard has just taken over, right?
Nembhard is a playoff riser. If it's not the playoffs, he's not going to make threes. That's the thing. Like people,
did you not see the game against like 2 years ago?
This man Nembhard shoots like 30% from 3 in the regular season and then 45 in the playoffs. Like he was never going to. the efficiency was always going to be a problem in the regular season, in my opinion.
He's the
Especially now when you're giving
DeMar
him this
DeRozan.
yeah, pretty much a real playoff riser, so you should get more credit for that. But yeah, offensively, it's bad. I feel like maybe me having New Orleans.
Did you expect more from Jay Huff and Jarris Walker too? I feel like again. So
yes, I liked both of those acquisitions, and neither. Well, not acquisition for Jay Huff. I like Jarris Walker having the opportunity to get more minutes. Turns out Jarris Walker can't score, which is definitely not something I anticipated.
I didn't anticipate that either. And I feel like a lot of these teams that are either like phenomenally bad or exceptionally good, like exceptionally good relative to expectations, we're just ascribing the blame to like one or two guys or ascribing the credit to one or two guys. But I think with like the Phoenix Suns, it's been a lot of dudes. It's like 8 guys, 9 guys. And it's like every night, it's like somebody else who's really rising to the occasion. With the Indiana Pacers, it's not on, oh, Tyrese Halliburton. Oh, so-and-so is not healthy. Ben Matthews. It's everybody. Everybody sucks. Like most people, most players have sucked. So I think this goes back to a larger point of the intentionality in training camp. They walked into training camp knowing this was going to be a gap year, and I think they're playing like it.
Fellas, they get a top 3 pick, it's going to work out for them amazingly.
Yeah.
I'm throwing this back on the screen one more time.
Boston's too low too.
I just want to ask you guys about the top 10. How are we feeling about Detroit and Cleveland up here? The Timberwolves, Raptors. Is there any team that shouldn't be in this group? And is there any team that
Minnesota shouldn't be in this group?
I had the Wolves at 11, but like
they're 10-5 right now.
But the Wolves are literally like who did we say it about the other day?
I'm stupid. I put the Minnesota Timberwolves.
We said it about 9. Memphis. Yeah, we said it about Memphis.
One person
Memphis can beat bad teams, but they can't beat good teams. The Timberwolves have the same problem. The difference is their schedule has been light as hell. So they're 10-5. Meanwhile, the Memphis Grizzlies are 4-11. If you go through the Minnesota Timberwolves wins and you go through their losses, they beat Portland's opening night in a nip and tuck game. Portland started the season well. We'll say, cool, good win, but they barely beat them. It took Ant masterclass. Credit to them. They then lost to the Lakers. They then beat the Pacers. We just spoke about how much the Pacers suck. They then lost to the Nuggets. Good team. Lost to the Lakers again. They then beat the Hornets. They beat the Knicks. They then lost to the Knicks. They then beat the Jazz, beat the Kings, beat the Jazz, beat the Kings. Literally 4 straight games. Jazz, Kings, Jazz, Kings. Beat all of them. Then they lost to the Nuggets again, beat the Mavs, and they barely beat the Wizards yesterday. Wizards made a crazy comeback and then lost. Like, they don't beat good teams. The only quote-unquote good team they beat was Portland. And that's because Portland started the season fine. Everyone else, they've just had a really easy schedule. And I'm not saying they're going to lose to every good team they play. But early on, I would say...
Has their defense or their offense been more disappointing for you?
Their defense, for sure. Their defense. I think their offense has actually been... I like the Julius Randle. I think he's having a great year. Ant before, he's been slumping like the last couple games. I think Ant was having a good season, especially in the mid-range. Them going with Dante in the starting lineup has been interesting, basically leaning all the playmaking on Julius and Ant.
I just don't know where else they would go given the weaknesses they have, because right now when they put Rob or Conley in the game,
Rob Dillingham has been bad. He's just been bad. There's no other way to hide it. He's just been bad. Mike Conley is just too old. He started yesterday, I believe, but Mike Conley is just too old to provide much outside of being able to make threes.
And they live in a space right now too where they need Julius Randle, but also they need Rudy Gobert, but Rudy Gobert is also hurting them. Like they're in a very weird.
Still says the same stuff as always with Rudy. The defense is great with him on the court, but the offense isn't as great. Yeah. But then when he's not on the court, you can't guard anyone. So it's like, what do you do? I don't know. It's just I'm not saying Minnesota are bad.
And to be fair, that's a fool's goal to me. That's what it sounds like.
No.
I would say to the question earlier, what's more important? Wins, net rating, efficiency, blah blah blah. This is why I would say, especially early on, wins aren't the end all be all. Minnesota would be like the answer to that question. After playoffs start, at the end of the day, they're going to be in the playoffs playing the Rockets. They're a 6 seed. So, like, at the end of the day, win games. But I would say they aren't as good as 10-5 would suggest they are.
Yeah, they're in an interesting spot because right now they are underperforming based on what they should be doing right now. I think a lot of this comes down to their defense has slid because their structure has slid as a whole. Nas and Julius are a horrible defensive front court. So Rudy gets in there.
A good rebounding front court though.
No, it's not. So they're Nas is not like an upper tier rebounder. Julius is a good rebounder, but Nas is not like a rebounder. And then on the other end of that too, Jaden has some really good offensive games this year. Ant's obviously been up and down a little bit this year. And I think when they get pressed so far this season, they haven't responded super well. I do think the Wolves are still going to be a top 4 or 5 team, probably 4 in the Western Conference when it's all said and done. But yeah, to start the year off, they have not been the team that they ended to be last year at all.
So
I had them at 11. So
their next 10 games, to Mars's point, I think they can run off 9 of their next 10 games. They got Phoenix, Sacramento, Oklahoma City, Boston, Phoenix, who I think they're going to beat on Friday in the in-season tournament. They're going to beat Sacramento on Monday. They're going to lose to Oklahoma City. I think they beat Boston next Saturday. No Wemby. They're going to beat San Antonio. They're going to beat New Orleans twice. Then they play the Clippers. I think they beat them, and then they're going to beat Phoenix again. I wouldn't be surprised. Yes.
If they go 9-1 in their next 10, I'll be very impressed.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe they will. I don't know. But if they go 9-1, I'll be very impressed.
And it's because of a favorable schedule. Sure, I can definitely get with that. Definitely because of a favorable schedule.
Phoenix on the road, I think, is a tough game. The Kings, okay, not so much. OKC, yeah, chalk out.
I don't think they're going to beat
But
them.
they might be able to beat OKC. I don't know. I want to see Ant against OKC's defense. I do want to see that. Boston, I think, is going to be a tough game. I think Boston is a team that's way better.
Yeah, they're better than their record.
Suggests,
yeah.
Like a lot better.
San
San Antonio, even without Wemby,
SRS.
I think San Antonio might be decent. So San Antonio, interesting game. New Orleans, yeah, okay, chalk those wins up. The Clippers, we'll see if by that game the Clippers have figured anything out. And then once again, the Suns again. I still think the Suns are okay. Memphis, yeah, okay, not so much. OKC, cool, another loss. And then you get to then you start seeing Milwaukee. Giannis should be back by then. Knicks, Nuggets, Nets, Bulls, Hawks, Miami. Then you start strengthening the schedule, and we'll see how they close out. But they've started off with, I think we said it before the season that Minnesota started the season with one of the easiest schedules, and I think you made us guess what their record would be after like 20, 25 games. Yeah. And we all had that with like a very good record because that schedule
21-5, something nonsense.
Yeah, it was like very friendly at the beginning of the season.
Mm-hmm. And Penn, to your point about all of those guys on Indiana shooting under 40%, boy, if they had a point guard who can get off the basketball and make some plays for them, I bet you they'd be a lot better, wouldn't they?
Yeah, but he can't make shots for them. And to I understand your point. Boston is top 10 right now in terms of net rating and SRS. That tells me they're a decent team.
What is SRS for Chill? I don't know if he knows what SRS
is. Simple rating system. Mm-hmm. So it takes into account strength of schedule, point differential, and all that stuff. And it just basically gives you an idea of the team's overall strength. And I think it's something interesting happening in the NBA right now. Did you know that Boston is the slowest team in the league?
I did know that.
Mm-hmm. By pace, they are.
They're slower than the Clippers now?
Yes. So
even when they was winning championships, they were
slow. They were slow.
And they were bottom 10 in the year that they won the championship. I want to say that they were 20.
They were 23rd.
They were bottom 10 in the league.
They've been slow for a little while.
They're not a fast-paced team. No, they've
never
been.
So interestingly enough, this year, here are the top 10 fastest teams in the league. Clearly, Miami, like way up here. Yeah. Portland, Chicago, Dallas, Sacramento, Washington, Memphis, Cleveland, Utah. Only 2 of those teams are above 500. Which is Miami and Cleveland.
Yep.
If you look at the slowest teams in the league, that's Boston above 500, Houston above 500, Philly above 500, San Antonio above 500, OKC above 500, Orlando above 500, Phoenix above 500. We need to slow down. Is this correlation equals causation? Correlation does not equal causation. Can you tell me what is the link between pace of offense and actual success? Because I think it's not like a one stat like explains everything. I think there's naturally like certain teams that should play fast, but I think right now what's happening is there are teams that should be playing slow that are playing too fast.
I'll tell you what, Ron,
I can agree with that.
What it sounded like to me, what Penn said was those guys that play fast, a lot of young teams, right? A lot of young teams that play fast that are prone to mistakes, and those teams that play slower, there are more vet teams that they've been around for a little while. Ron, I already got her over here. I ain't got to rush. Ain't no reason for me to rush.
Oh, I apologize. The Bulls are also above 500, 8-6.
She already here, Ron. I ain't got to rush, right?
2-game win streak off the back of Vooch.
I got to hurry up. So, like these other these young teams, they playing fast and they play at a phonetic pace. Again, you already got over here.
And chill, they just too quick.
Yeah,
that's probably what their girlfriends will say about them. They just too quick.
Yeah, the young dudes.
You're just too quick, young fella.
Mm-hmm. Relax, yo. You already got over here. You got the ball already.
30-second pumper.
You ain't got to play fast. Quick. You can play fast. One of the prime examples, Ox, is San Antonio. I'm liking how Foxy dictates the pace. Like he can go fast, but then he'll slow himself down, which slows them down in a good way. But then he'll speed it up. I love that at that pace that he plays with. So
Chill. We talked about the fastest teams and the slowest teams, but what about the teams right in the middle of pace? So there's 10 teams from 11 to 20. How many of those teams do you think are above 500?
11 to 20. I'm gonna guess.
Is it all of them?
I was gonna guess 5 of them.
9.
Oh, so
close enough.
Yeah, 9 of
Yep.
the 11. Wow.
I was basically right.
It's the player choice way. Yeah, them boys don't get it started. The player choice way.